Every day, she asked life the same questions. What does this mean? Why am I here? Where am I going? Will everything work out? Exasperated by her questions, life came down and handed her a book. This book has your entire future inside of it. Every twist and turn, love and loss, success and failure, down to the last detail until your death. Read it if you wish. Life walked away, leaving her with her future in the palm of her hands. She looked at the closed book for a while, feeling its weight. She could open it and know every little detail, down to when she would die. She realized that sometimes the answers exist within the questions themselves. And a world without mystery was a world without hope. She surrendered the book back into life's hands, along with the worry that had consumed her mind. So in the last video, you would have seen me creating the foundations of this painting. So it was sketching out the sort of core figures and sort of trying to consolidate like how I wanted to represent the figures. And then I started to create a collage, which I have never ever done before. I never actually experimented with collage even in high school when we used to have like a lot of art classes. So this was very refreshing for me to experiment in this way. And now like I'm finally onto this stage to paint. So in this video, you're going to see me sort of, bring this painting into full maturity, so to speak. I'm going to try my best. I have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like I don't normally go into paintings having like a solid plan or a step-by-step process. I have a rough idea of, my own process, but I more so tend to sort of be led by intuition and openness and sort of trust in what the painting is going to, teach me and show me and tell me new things, because I don't want to be the person who's sort of figuring everything out. Like I do that in my life already. So this is a really sacred and special space for me when I paint.
Cold January, up before dawn, down to the Knox mine we've been digging on. No other light but the lamp on my head, and my mama told me that I wound up dead, but there's bills to pay, and the rent's due today, so I'll take my chances this time. Breaking my back, $5 a day, when the company store was getting half anyway. While Mr. Cold Baron sits up on a hill in a gold-plated mansion with pockets to fill, and we're underground, 300 feet down, and it feels like we're digging our grave. Don't go down the mines, heed the words that I tell you. It'll cost you your life, and it's damp and dark too. The river is wide, and it gets ever closer. Each hammer strike, don't go down the mines. Heard people talking about the rivers full of pain. They got us digging too close to Money and greed is a powerful thing. It can make a man blind to the danger it brings. And I've got a feeling this anthracite ceiling can hold back the river above. We heard the warning just before noon. A thunderous sound and the river came through. We tried to run, but the mind's like a bear's, and the cold icy waters chased us to our graves. Mama was right that I'd give my life. Wish I'd listened to her when she said, don't go down the mines. Heed the words that I tell you. It'll cost you your life. It's damp and dark too. The river is wide, and it gets ever closer. Each hammer strike. Don't go down the mines. Yes, Mama was right. Don't go down the mines.
When I was younger, in my 20s, I remember my grandma looking at me, her eyes twinkling with half amusement and half, was it sadness, worry, pride, or with knowing? A knowing that could only be worn on a face shaped by a life fully lived. A life filled with a tremendous amount of joy and courage, love and loss. A life of big smiles and a hearty swell of laughter and a river of tears. She looked at me in that brief moment and said, almost as a matter of fact, "You are still young. Life hasn't happened to you yet." It was one of those moments that has never left me until this day. I was in my 20s. I felt like the world was in my fingertips. The feeling of being invincible, like I could live for eternity, like all of my heart's desires were just within grasp, were all the things I felt in my young adult years. Now, in my 30s, I often reflect back on how life, like my grandma once said, had its way with me. I'm definitely struck by how there has been more surprises that came my way. Ties with people I thought would last forever broke away. And in those places, lasting bonds with beautiful souls took place. Places that I grew up in became distant memories. Sometimes, life asked more from me, to make difficult decisions that felt like it changed the core of who I thought I was. I experienced deep losses that made me question my reasons to live. In the last 10 years, the biggest lesson I've learned has been that two opposing things can exist at the same time. I've learned to still love in the presence of loss. I've learned to laugh even when tears were streaming down my face. In times when I felt like my soul has been sucked out of energy, I've learned to slowly get back up. I've learned that even during sad times, a reason to be grateful and appreciative of our life always exists. Some days were brighter than others. Sometimes it felt like darkness consumed for prolonged periods of time, and I didn't know how I'd find my way back. But always, life had its way with me, showing me that things are never the same. Anytime I felt like things were going to stay this way forever, I eventually realized my innocence and ignorance. That ever-changing nature of life and the way it flows taught me that this was life's beauty itself. I was drawn to painting because I wanted to express the textures of life, to represent it in lots of layers that I feel on the inside. I wanted to create visual stories of the complexities of this wild human life through paint and colors. Working first with collage, layering the poem, and playing around with the tissue paper, only to then paint on top of these textures, made me feel like I was working with life's complexities. The textures of this painting reminded me of wrinkles on an elder's face, which, like my grandma, are evidence of a life fully lived. I'm always drawn to bold and bright colors. Even if it's a sad painting, I always feel like beautiful, bright combinations of colors represent our perspective. That no matter our situation in life, no matter how life had its way with us, we can always choose to see the beauty. Sometimes, misfortunes in life makes us feel powerless. We ask life, why me? Why did this happen? But over and over again, no matter what happens, I've come to realize that we are indeed very powerful. You already know that it's going to be a painting day for me when I'm in my baggy sweats. And today what I'm going to do is to put the final layers of oil on top of the mixed media collage acrylic painting. So the core sort of details I think are pretty much there or thereabouts. I just need to add a little bit more highlights and make certain areas sort of like be brought forward and certain areas be pushed back. So that's the plan. And I've been contemplating the last few days of how this painting process has been. And I have to say, like, this painting in particular has been so different from me from any of the other mixed media paintings that I've done recently. There's been less sort of, I don't know, like emotional turmoil. There's been less sort of second guessing and mystery. Yes, there has been like a certain, sort of feeling and stage of exploring and discovering. The collage part for me, I found, was very, very tactile. And maybe it's because of that collage that I did in the beginning, but I found myself being much more sort of thoughtful, actually thinking, okay, like what exactly am I going to put in this area when it comes to the collage part? But I've also thought about, what exactly am I going to put next in terms of the paint? I don't know. Is it because I'm getting much more experience in the painting process? Is it because I feel more confident in it? Or is it just this particular painting alone? Like, I don't know. It's my first time experiencing this. So I'm just going with it, because for me, I want to approach each new painting as they come, because for me, like, each painting is like people who have different personalities and different stories to tell. I always want to approach each of my painting with that sense of getting to know someone, for the first time. One of the other things that I found myself doing is also been sort of, standing back a lot and looking at the painting in this sort of like distance and even further. And for some reason, that has been allowing me to see where I'm going to put the next marks, like more objectively. And that's also another thing, like I found myself painting with more objectivity, with more sort of technical thinking and process. So yeah, I'm not gonna try to think too much about it, but today is a day of oils, and it's strange to me that I'm starting this session feeling actually calm, like calmer than I used to be. Yes, I had to sort of work my way through my own feelings of, procrastination and discomfort to get here. But I also feel like there is a level of, peace that is present right now. Enough yapping, and let's get painting. We have the power of choice. The way we think can help shape our perspective, which in turn can steer our actions towards goodness. And our actions can give us more faith, not only to life, but also, most importantly, faith in ourselves. Isn't it amazing that as humans, we have that power to create change from one single thought? But the big question becomes, would we want to know in advance how our life would play out? In my culture, it's common to have things like palm reading and consultations with astrologers. I find many fortunes being told about my future, most of which I believe. But no matter how many readings I've had, nothing compares to the raw experiences of life. Knowing is not equal to experiencing. The experience of life is so much richer and much more raw than reading about it, intellectualizing it. I came into painting because starting a painting without knowing how it finishes made my life more exciting. Every blank canvas asks the same question life does. Will you stay open, even when you don't know what's coming? Can you be comfortable with the discomfort? There are days when I want certainty. Days I wish I could see the whole picture before I make the first mark. But I've learned that certainty dulls the magic. It flattens the texture. Life, like paint, needs room to bleed, to crack, to flow, to surprise you. Maybe that's what my grandma saw that day. Not that life hadn't happened to me yet, but that one day it would. fully, unapologetically. And when it does, it leaves marks, wrinkles, scars, stories, colors. So I keep showing up to the canvas, to the uncertainty, to this wild, unfinished thing called being human, no matter how afraid I am. Not trying to control how it ends, just brave enough to keep painting whilst it's still becoming.
Hey, little dandelion, through the cracks in the sidewalk, growing in silence, wearing your yellow crown. Hey, little dandelion.
And I hope you know, you don't need to have it all figured out to be living a meaningful life. I hope you can let yourself be unfinished. I hope you can trust that not knowing is not a flaw, but an invitation. Like a painting, still wet with color, your life is allowed to change as you touch it. And you're allowed to pause, to layer, to paint over what no longer feels true. So, wherever you are right now, in clarity or confusion, joy or quietly grieving, I hope you keep showing up to your life, to its uncertainty, not waiting for the final image to make sense, but daring to live it. Live whilst it's still becoming, while life has its way with you. Hey, little dandelion, through the cracks in the sidewalk, growing in silence, wearing your yellow crown. Hey, little dandelion, they kicked you for no reason, gather up your pieces, still you hold your ground. Hey, little dandelion, born to burn in quiet.
I'm hushing the dog on the chain. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly